This panel is by far, I think, the best panel of the chapter. When she says, "Eat lead," and then you see these bullets just rain on the demons, and you see how she's holding 2 miniguns. Okay, she's holding miniguns, dude, in each hand, and she's able to hold herself up with the recoil and not fall backwards. I'm like, yo, this girl is some savagery right now. Like, she's savage. She's just sitting there firing raining bullets on them. I'm like, I like her. I like her a lot. I want more of her. I really hope she does not die now after seeing how epic that was in this chapter, because when she says, "Eat lead," I'm like, yo, that's so cool. Just like, I've always loved characters that are like that, when they're pushed up into a corner, or if, something's been done really bad to them and they're just really angry, and when characters like "eat lead" or "eat this" or whatever, they sling a grenade, I'm like, that is what I like to see. And so when she said that, my instincts within me, just my hype just built up. I was like, oh my god, I need this animated. Like, I cannot wait for The Promised Neverland to finally get an anime, because just imagine how glorious this scene would be in the anime. Like, soon as, all this has happened, you see those flashbacks and everything that these demons have done to them, killed their family, taken their siblings away. I mean, just imagine after all of that, the sad flashback, then you see her look down at the demons like, "Eat lead." She pulls out the guns, you hear the sound effects of the gun, and she just fires on them. I'm like, yo, I need this, please. I mean, I'm still surprised that The Promised Neverland has yet to get an anime announcement. I really am. I know it's going to get one eventually. It's bound to happen. I'm just very surprised it has yet to get one, because it is, from what I know, a very popular series in Japan, so I'm just kind of shocked about that, because around this time, that's when we did get an anime announcement for Boku no Hero Academia. I believe when we were on chapter 70 something, like 70 or 60, we got an announcement for the anime of Boku no Hero, the first season. So I am kind of curious if we will be getting an anime announcement very soon. I really, really love the way the flashback was done, okay? Normally flashbacks, they're not that good. Like, flashbacks can be good, but sometimes it could kind of take you out of, what's going on in real time. And I feel like the way the writer had those flashbacks implemented into this chapter, I think that's probably what really made the chapter for me, what sold it, because it was those emotions. Imagine if you were in their spot. You were in these kids' spot to where you lost your family. Like, you were brought to this place thinking you actually had a home, and then all of a sudden you're on the run from these monsters that are chasing you, and they're just wiping out your family one after another, and you have to watch there, and you can't do anything. Like, you just gotta watch your family getting slaughtered. You can't stop it. And then you have these demons playing around with you, like, I'll give you 10 seconds. No, I'll give you 10 seconds to be able to get away. It just, when you see stuff like this, it's gonna scar you. And so with those flashbacks of showing how each individual one of these kids have lost someone they loved in front of them, they couldn't do anything about it, it makes that moment to when they, initiate against the demons and they attack them with their weapons so much more pleasing, because you're like, they've been waiting for this for a very long time. Can we talk about the artwork for a second? Like, okay, I know the artist is separate from the writer. Like, I know there's an artist working on, the art, and then you have the writer, and the writer writes the story down, and then the artist takes the story, and then makes the art for it. It's very similar to how Death Note was done, or, Bakuman was done, and if you've ever seen those, if you've ever read those manga, or if you actually ever watched the anime, then you know what I'm talking about. Basically, the series, it was done by 2 people. It was done by the artist and a writer, and that's how this series is being handled. And I just want to compliment the artist of this chapter, just for what he did, or she did. I don't know if it's a he or she actually is doing the art for The Promised Neverland. I need to actually look into that. But I mean, the art, though, of The Promised Neverland for this week's chapter was some quality, because just the facial expressions to the way the camera angles or the panels were done, like the angles of the way they showed the backs of the characters, I think everything was on point. I mean, even Lewis's face at the beginning of the chapter, with this man's menacing look and all that, he was just smiling. I'm like, yo, this is a very, very good start to a chapter. I mean, we even have, Lord Bayon and all that with his facial expression. There was just some good artwork, and I think many can agree with me that in terms of art-wise, this is probably the best chapter we've had in a while, actually, in terms of the art. But, anyways, let's talk about Lewis for a second. So Lewis, he realizes what's going on, okay? He realizes that the children are setting up fireworks, a diversion. He's managed to come to terms with that and realize that everything that happened at the end of the last chapter with the explosion stuff, it wasn't anything big. The walls didn't come down for this safe haven. You know, you had to where it wasn't a big fire. He realizes that they have a plan to retaliating against the demons. And knowing how he is as a person, he realizes that Emma most likely has sparked this fire within them, and that's just going to make him even happier. So I do feel like nothing's really going to go according to plan, because with the end of this chapter, when you see how the girl walks up to the demon boy and all that and puts the gun to him, we don't have the ending to him. For instance, he didn't technically get killed in this chapter. She just pointed a gun at his face and she's like, check and mate, basically in GG, and that was the end of the chapter. And so when you see that, you don't see him dead. So I feel like Lewis is probably going to pop up and kill her. Just something is telling me that that's going to happen. Either that's going to happen, or the rich boy demon, he's going to come in and, you know, he's going to kill her. Like, since, you know, he's a demon and he could be very strong and overpower her, she's also a child. So, I mean, we'll just see where that's going. But, anyways, can we talk about how she called the demon a rich boy? That had me dying. I'm like, wait, what? Like, she just straight called this man rich boy. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess he is a rich boy. I mean, he's a rich demon. He feels like, you know, he needs to hunt. He can hunt anytime he wants. He makes this look like a game. And so, he is a rich boy. He is the classification of a rich boy. And the way she just said that to the, you know, the dude, and then put a gun in his face, I'm like, I like her. I like her. I really hope she doesn't end up dead. So we got some very interesting details on the mask that the demons wear in this series. Now, we all know that the demons wear the mask to safeguard their face, where, you know, their critical point is. If you get shot in that point, they obviously would die. We know they have insane regenerative capabilities. They can, you know, come back from having limbs torn off, shot, and obliterated and all that. They can regenerate as long as their central headpiece is intact behind their main eye. And we find out that the masks that are on their face are extremely durable. They can pretty much take a lot of bullet fire. They're almost impervious. They're bulletproof, so to say. And so they found out that they can't just, you know, keep shooting at the mask and it will break off. But there is some clarification. Now, it does make sense when you think about how society is and how demons are, or how humans are in general, how we are as a, you know, a species. It makes sense that the demons might be very similar. It is explained that the retainers, the servants to these higher class demons, they don't really have the best gear. They have masks that are pretty strong and bulletproof, like around the eye section, but when it comes to the sides and stuff, there is weak points. They're not made properly. It's kind of like when you look at when you're buying a controller for a console, let's say a PlayStation or Xbox, and you have these off-brand products, and then you have the main product from the main company. That's kind of what it is. You have these masks that are like off-brand. They're not as good. They're made with similar materials, but they're off-brand, while you have the main stuff that actually is able to hold back against bullet fire. And that's what happened. Basically, the children, they know that the servants, they don't have that good a mask. And so if they can whittle down them, take out the servants, then that makes less demons overall, which that means that as more people they take down, the more demons they take down, the bigger chance they have of surviving. And so if they can kill the entire servants around the demon, they could take down the demon and have, like, you know, like 2v1. It's pretty much an even fight. So that's kind of what was being explained there, that these demons, they don't have the best of quality mask if you're lower grade, like if you're a commoner. And so that would mean that in regular society of demons, because we know they have to have a civilization, because from what we have seen, that would mean that they don't probably have the best of masks. Their masks are probably not that strong, and they could easily be broken, because I'm going to assume into the general public, they're probably going to have standard masks or whatever. So cool stuff. I do like that explanation we got with this chapter when it comes to how they're able to take down some of the demons. And I do like how in this chapter, one of the demons, like the demon that was being targeted by the girl, he was saying, no use, no use, no use. And I'm going to assume in Japanese translation, that's probably Muda. So the dude was literally saying Muda, 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 Muda. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this Dio? Like, is this man Dio? Like, he's legit saying Muda in this chapter. I'm like, I'm getting that Dio vibe from this dude. I really hope when this does get an anime that demon actually has Dio's voice actor. It better have Dio's voice actor, because for him saying no use, no use, no use. But speaking of the demon, can I talk about his design real quick? I didn't know this. I don't know how many noticed this, but it was my first time I actually became very aware of it. But the demon that was being attacked and all that in this chapter that was checkmated, he he has 4 arms. I didn't ever realize. I know it's not anything crazy important at the end of the day, but I never really realized that that demon had 4 arms until I saw the panel and he was saying no use. Like, he was pointing his hands and stuff. He's like, no use, no use. You see his 2 hands at the top, and then you see 2 hands on the bottom, and then later on you see how he has 2 hands wrapped around him and all that. I'm like, yo, he has 4 arms. I was not aware of that. Honestly, I never even noticed that he had 4 arms to begin with. It slipped my mind, or I just didn't even notice it. So I do like that little design. I don't know, just something about that I just really like, how he had 4 arms, and I do feel like that's going to be very crucial in taking down the girl if he does decide to fight back. I mean, if we have seen from anything when it comes to a species or any living creature, when you push them into a back of a corner, usually they will strike back and fight back with everything they can. And so I feel like even though this rich boy, he might be weak and be easy to overpower, you never underestimate a cornered person or cornered animal or anything like that, because they will do anything in their power to survive, and I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. He's probably going to initiate an attacker because he just doesn't want to die. He fears for his life. But I want to end it there. That's pretty much it when it comes to this chapter. It's a very, very simple chapter, but a wonderful chapter nonetheless. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you love this chapter, let me know in the comments. If you like my video, please leave a like. If you like my content, please subscribe. And I love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.